All right, welcome to the 307 Faithful Podcast. I'm your host, Devin Davis, and this is Paxton Yates. Hopefully you listened to our first guest last week. We had Bennett Sanford on, and Bennett is a junior at Graybull High School. He's a wrestler and a football player, and we really had a really good time talking to Bennett and learning about his sports and his faith and kind of how he connected the two of those. What was kind of your favorite thing? Do you have a highlight from last week, Paxton?
I mean, I'm still kind of caught up on the competing for Christ.
I knew you'd say that.
It's just, I know you know that I'd say that, but I mean, think about it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome to I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool when you think that it was his sisters and just they were really growing in their faith. Yeah. And he could witness that.
He's like, I want to be better.
Yeah. So as an athlete, so it kind of goes to show you that you are impacting people, whether you're trying to do that or not. Like you are impacting. People are watching you,
especially those in your family. I mean, you see a little sibling sees you, or a little cousin. They see you following God. They see you setting the example. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I've always looked up to my older cousins.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I became a Christian, was because Grady McCartney, he showed me everything, and I was like, I want to follow his example, because, I mean, look at him, he's doing great. But I've never thought of it like competing, which is strange, because I'm a competitive kid, too.
You should have picked up on that a long time ago.
I know, yeah.
Think where you'd be.
I'll be better than him. I'll be a better Christian.
I really liked when he talked about how he connected faith and sports, and that when he connected the two of them, how it really helped him kind of relax, and he didn't feel quite as much pressure. He felt more free to compete. So that was pretty cool to listen to that.
And it totally makes sense, especially what he said about, not making the sport your God.
Yeah.
I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's something you see lots of athletes do. I mean, at every level.
Yeah.
Middle school, high school, college, professional, those 30-year-old football leagues. I mean, it's like the sport is your life. It's what you want to do. It's like, I want to be the best I can at this, and if I fail, then I'm not good enough.
Right.
But being able to take that step back and realize a sport is just it's a medium through which I can express my faith and
great point.
Just show my love and show my dedication to the Lord through a competition that I love so much. I mean, that's all you can ask for.
That and he kind of said that too, right? It's not really the outcome, which is hard for us to wrap our minds around, because that's kind of what we're trained.
You want to win.
Yeah. And, people are super competitive, like you just said. And so they want to win, but they don't understand that there's a greater purpose to sports.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that was kind of a cool message that Bennett got across to us. So,
but moving on from last week, I'm super excited for this week. You tell him a little bit about him, but he's awesome.
So Colin Crecelius is a senior at Cheyenne East High School, and I found out about Colin from his FCA representative, Kevin Cates. And Kevin just gave me a little background about Colin, and I did a little studying on his success and what sports he plays. And so it's really kind of exciting to bring in Colin from clear across the state. But I think this is going to be a really good interview with Colin. So we're going to go ahead and bring him into the interview at this point in time and let him tell you a little bit about himself. So Colin, we talked a little bit about you already. I want you to go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
Hi guys, my name's Colin Crecelius. I'm a senior at East High School. I've been playing tennis for all 4 years of high school, and then I also play Legion baseball for Post 6. So yeah, that's my sports career. And then also I'm an FCA leader at my school right now, and I've been an active member in that for the last 4 years of high school as well.
So Colin, we had a guy that wrestled and played football. And so now the cool thing about this is not only a guy from a much larger high school, but also that plays different sports. And so Paxton has told us several times. Paxton, before we turn this back, tell me what sports you have participated in. I always get a kick out of this. So,
Man, all of them.
except for
Except for tennis.
tennis.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played tennis. Always wanted to, though. My great grandpa actually played tennis for UW.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Bob Porter.
Bob Porter played tennis at the University of Wyoming.
Yeah.
Man, this is a trivia podcast right
Yeah.
here. So,
Exactly.
we don't know a whole lot about tennis. I've played before, but tell me how kind of how you grew into the sport, and you know, obviously in Wyoming with the weather the way it is, you really can't play it too many months out of the year. But tell us just about your history with tennis.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got introduced it to it like very young. I was around 5 years old, I believe. My dad played tennis at University of Northern Colorado, and then also played tennis at East High School. So he loved it. My mom played in high school as well, so I just got introduced really young, and then kind of just took a liking to it. I was a busy kid, so I played three sports growing up. So I played tennis, basketball in the winter, and then baseball in the summer. So like my fall time, and then like any time in between is when I played tennis, and I just did that throughout high school, or not high school, just like throughout life, and just continued to grow with it. And yeah, it's the best. I love tennis. I couldn't be more thankful for it, and all it's taught me and brought for me. So
Yeah, so again, we kind of did a little creeping on your social media. I always do that to prepare myself, but and also Kevin told me you're a state champ. So tell us how exciting that was to have win a state championship after all the hard work that you've put in.
yeah, truly, dream come true. I mean, it was 4 years of hard work that was my goal. That was the goal. That's what you want to do. Being a one single state champ, it's kind of like the top honor in Wyoming tennis and like usually tennis in general. And that's just like years of hard work. I had a good friend who won it my freshman and sophomore year, and I wanted to just be like him. And then I had another good friend who won it junior year. I lost to him, unfortunately, in that state final my junior year. So it was just all the motivation I needed going into my senior year to bring home that state championship, and I was able to get it done. It was just like truly a dream come true, and it just showed me like all that hard work, it was for something, and that was like awesome.
That is awesome. So, like you said, it's a whole 4 year process, but what did it feel like when you scored that final point, to win the game? What was going through your head?
It was just like surreal. I pumped my fist. Obviously, if you were still stalking my social media, I have a big uproar like after I won that final point, and it was just it was so surreal. I had all my people like in my corner all season that were cheering me on. I was unfortunate. I shouldn't say fortunately, but like I had all my teammates there because unfortunately nobody else was playing on the third day of state, so everybody was there watching for me, cheering me on, and being able to get it done. It was just, and it was also like a clearance because I was kind of the state favorite all year, and everybody was kind of gunning for me. I was able to take care of my business, but um, knowing that like all this like hard work and that target on my back, I was able to get it done, and that was awesome.
So yeah, throughout the season, and Kevin said not only did you win state, I mean you had a very successful season. What was your record throughout the tennis season?
I was 19 and 0, and I didn't lose a set, so that means I won. I never lost a set, so both my matches were only 2 sets long. So I was 38 and 0 in set scores, but yeah, 19 and 0 overall. No set got more than like 6-4. So like it was pretty dominant, but like obviously I worked very hard for that. So I was and thankful for all the people there in my corner that trained me and my teammates that were there the whole season. But yeah, it was a very, very good senior year.
So do you have a facility over during when the weather's bad that you're able
Yeah.
to practice in?
Well, fortunately, the falls in Cheyenne, in Wyoming, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, we're able to pretty much always be outside for that season, but there's a like a charter school that has some tennis courts that you can practice at, as well as like during the winter, like it opens at the very end of tennis season. If you guys ever been to Frontier Days, there's the big building that's right outside the rodeo. That turns into a tennis center during the winter, and that's where I train during the winter.
Awesome. Do you, I mean, the baseball program in Cheyenne is incredible. Which Legion team do you play for?
Uh, Post six, so Cheyenne Post six Sixers. I've played the varsity is the Sixers. I've played on that for 2 years now. This will be my third year coming up.
So, what positions are you playing for that team?
So I second and third base usually, and then I'll pitch as well.
Great. Just one more year left of Legion baseball.
Yep, one year left. I don't have a return year. Some seniors do that have return years, but I don't have a return year. And then I don't think I would use it anyways. I'm gonna go play college tennis, so I think that that's gonna be my future. So I don't think I would come back and play baseball anyways.
So that's actually what I want to talk about next. Was we saw you recently signed. So how are you feeling about that? You know, you
Uh,
just super excited.
Yeah, super excited. So I'm going to Morningside University, which is in Sioux City, Iowa. NAIA school. They're ranked 13th in the nation for NAIA for tennis, and Coach Struck, he's the head coach over there. He's been awesome. He actually texted the first time he ever texted me was on my state championship after I won. So that was kind of a cool little tidbit there. But yeah, he's awesome. I can't wait to get to Sioux City and train with them. But yeah, I haven't officially signed. I've just committed. Hopefully doing my signing here in January soon. With how my school does it, you have to like talk to the athletic director and figure all that stuff out. So hasn't it's not technically official, but I did commit. Just I think it was on Monday. It'll be or on Wednesday. It'll be 2 weeks. So.
Did you have some interest, or did you go on any other visits? Talk to any other schools?
Yeah, I went to a few other visits, a couple other NAIA schools, and then I also went to some junior colleges in Arizona, and then I just had like plenty of talking. But yeah, after my visit to Morningside, I was pretty confident that was the place I wanted to be. I had to pray about it a little bit, obviously talk to my family, and I think that God and my family thinks that's also the best place for me. And yeah, I'm so excited for it. Can't wait.
Well, that's a perfect lead in because that's obviously why we're here. It's awesome to hear about your sporting success and your future there. But just tell us a little bit about kind of your background as far as your faith in Christ and kind of where that started and where you're at now and just that journey.
Yeah, so I grew up in a Christian household. We've gone to church at the same church for I mean, as long as I can remember, I'm pretty sure my parents were going there when the former pastor was like doing it out of his garage. So we're very loyal to that church. It's Element Church, obviously. Been there a long time. Yeah, grew up in a house of faith, and like all my family believes in God, and that's just kind of like my upbringing. And then that's just kind of continued through high school. When I found out there was an FCA, I jumped right on it. And yeah, I've just been kind of just doing my thing. Took me for me, I had like some doubts in like myself and like if I was a good enough Christian or a good enough person to like be a leader in our FCA group because my junior year I was asked to like be a leader in it, and I just didn't know if that was like the right place for me, if that was like what I wanted to do or what I in my way I just didn't know if I was worthy of it. So I unfortunately, or I shouldn't say unfortunately, but I just was a member my junior year, but then I really connected with God. I think in this like last 8 to 10 months, and really tried to focus on that. And I became a leader like officially this summer for my FCA group. And uh, yeah, it's been fantastic learning experience, being able to share like my personal experiences with God and like how it's like driven me through sport because I've had the most like success out of our like leaders, so I'm able to like talk about that and how God is like really moved me through that way, and just being able to connect with other athletes in that way has been so awesome. So I lead a lesson on Tuesday, and I'm excited for that as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because I'm a leader too in FCA down here, and it is a lot of pressure. You know, thinking about it, right? You know, you don't want to rep God poorly, right? You know, you want to go in there, you want people to know that like you truly believe this, and this is something you're truly passionate about, and like it's just hard. It feels like a lot of pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, obviously nobody's perfect, and you have to know that, but you also have to like hold yourself to a certain standard, and you want to be that person that people can look up to when they're dealing with struggles in faith or something like that, or somebody that they can turn to. And I think that's a big thing. Obviously, you guys connected with me through Kevin, and Kevin's been a big part of that. I've gotten to know him pretty well over the last few years, and I couldn't be more thankful for him as well.
So just out of curiosity, what's your lesson going to be on Tuesday?
It's just kind of like it's a we're doing like a Christmas lesson, so it's just talking about the gift of God, or not the gift of God, the gift of Jesus Christ, and how He is the best gift that the earth has ever received, and how that's the like center of Christmas, not just the presents and stuff. And then we're also doing like a little Christmas party, so it'll have like cookies, and we're doing like little Christmas trivia. But that's like the main message that we're doing behind it.
That, that's kind of the plan for our huddle here in Riverton. On
Thursday.
We meet on Thursdays, so that's what
Okay.
we'll do too. So, I think I don't know. God's really been pointing me into a lot of scripture as believers, as followers of Christ. We are a new creation, right? And I was listening to a podcast, and I mean, it's like really a new creation. We're born again into that, and so like we have a different mindset, and we have different desires, and we live differently. How does that truth reveal itself in Colin Crecelius's life?
I just think that it's important to know that when, with your belief in God and knowing that he died, or that in Jesus, that he died on the cross for you, and knowing that you are saved because of him, you're able to really like reach out and connect to people in a like a meaningful way, knowing that there is something out there that you're living for. And if you put your like if you center yourself in Christ, like you can really just like live a good life. And I think that like learning that this past year especially is like really important. And I there's been times where I've been lost, and God has helped bring me back, and I've made sure to try to keep him at the center as best as I can. So
The next thing I kind of want to talk about that's faith related is a lot of questions that I hear as a leader, and a lot of struggles I see with people is people seem to get really hot for Christ and then they fall off. Have you ever experienced any of that in your own walk with God? Like where you're really passionate for it seems like a certain amount of time and then you just kind of drift away?
yeah, absolutely. I notice it with others as well, but like in my life, I've definitely been like, yes, like I'm doing this Bible study, I'm going to this like youth group, I'm going to church every day, I'm making sure I'm praying every day, and then it's like something bad happens, or I think that, oh, what is this even like is this really even worth it, kind of thing. And yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes to like make sure that you're staying consistent in the word, and obviously that's a battle you have to work with every day. But yeah, I've definitely noticed that you can for sure like find like rifts and valleys of like your faith. And like the most important thing I could say is just to like pray about it and try to talk with God and like connect with him. And I want to hopefully that most people don't have to go through those rifts and valleys, and they can trust in him always.
And so I think the other part too, and I think that is a good reminder, is like, so then we kind of struggle with that, but then how can you let that truth impact the way you compete as a state champion tennis player or a second baseman for post six? I mean, how do those truths change who you are on the tennis court?
You just gotta think you're not competing for yourself, you're competing for him. You want to show his glory through your actions, through your words, through your even just like competing. Like if you're not, I think that even in that way, if you're not competing, you're not really showing him like the respect that God deserves. So I believe that just through your like right actions, like being respectful, being like a good like competitor in that sense, like really showing the glory of God through the way that you play and compete is like really key. And it also shows to the people that are maybe you don't know that are watching you, that God is the center of your life, and that it's very important.
I love what you said there, especially like, if you're not competing hard, you're not giving all the praise that you can, right? I feel like that competition, that going hard and wanting to win, I feel like that's just as much praise as anything you say on or off the court, right? I feel like being able to go hard and give something your all, whether it's a tennis match, a baseball game, a football game, any other activity there are in sports, like that competitive drive is praise in my opinion. So I love what you said there with that. And I agree 100%.
I think it's just, is there, it's kind of hard, right? When you're in the heat of competition, and your focus is all on that. I think sometimes it's hard, it's easy for us to kind of lose our focus a little bit. Is there anything, that you found, or there any routine or any kind of like focus point that has helped you, stay kind of centered on that truth?
Yeah, obviously when you're in the heat in the moment or like something doesn't go your way, like I know in baseball, one call doesn't go your way and you're losing to Gillette when you're from Cheyenne and you don't like Gillette, you're like you just want to say all the bad words, yell at the umpires, do all this stuff and really lose focus of like what's truly at the center. And what I like to do this tennis, baseball, and like really anything, honestly. I just like to take a step back, few deep breaths. Usually I close my eyes, try to like pray for some sort of alignment, maybe some grace, maybe some patience in that sense, and try to like really center myself again. So take a step back and like just take some deep breaths, pray a little bit, and then get back to work.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I think that's like it's hard to connect the two of them, but I think once you do, I mean, it gives you just so much, like you said, peace, and helps give you that self control. I think self control for most athletes is probably the hardest thing to do, especially when a call doesn't go your way or whatever that is. But our hope in Jesus is what gives us that peace of mind and that self control. So it's awesome to see that that's the way that you compete as well. So I just kind of we wanted to close the podcast just kind of asking about what is your future? What can you see your life looking like in 5, 10, 20 years?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm hoping. So yeah, I mean the goal is I plan to. So at Morningside, I plan to study finance and accounting. So hopefully that I can, hopefully graduate there, have a great 4 years, and get a degree in that. Hopefully find a like a good working job, and then someday, obviously, the goal is like get married, find a great wife, God centered, of course. That's of course a great goal, and then I hope to have some kids someday, so that would be awesome. Uh, that's like I feel like that's a baseline. Obviously, that's a tough question to kind of like answer
Yeah,
right off the bat. My
yeah,
goal right now is just get through senior year,
yeah.
and compete to the best of my ability in my final baseball season, and then get ready for my first year of college. So,
I guess kind of, and Paxton might have one final question, but um, I our legacy is to me as I'm getting older. Our legacy means a lot to me. Is what do people say about us when we're gone? So this is kind of an abstract question, but what kind of legacy do you want to leave at Cheyenne East?
I want to leave a legacy that he was like honest and hardworking. I pride myself in working hard and being that person that when the freshman or the underclassmen like looks to, they're like, wow, like how has he done this? And it's through a lot of hard work and then through honest work as well, not lying about certain things or just kind of cheating their way through high school, which is can be kind of easy to do or skate through without like really working hard or being honest with people around you. Not even just like school, like the people around you. You don't want to cheat the people around you because relationships matter and the people in your life matter. So making sure that you're honest with your people and keeping the right people in your life, not to like hold on to things that really are holding you back. And I would like to think that I can leave a legacy of a person who worked very hard through all aspects of school and life, and then yeah, is honest with his friends, his family, his yeah loved ones, and the people around him. So
Anything else to ask?
No, I think I'm all good. Just good luck with this upcoming baseball season, this off season. So just stay healthy, and I can't wait to hopefully see what you do this season.
Yeah, can't wait. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for doing this. This is really cool.
Yeah, hopefully we'll meet you someday. You know, our goal in doing this, Colin, is really just to show people around the state of Wyoming that there's some pretty incredible Christian athletes around the state, and just to promote that. And you know, Wyoming's such a small state. It's crazy. You know, I mean, now that I know you, I wouldn't doubt that I probably run into you at some point in time when I'm visiting in Cheyenne. It's just that way. But we're grateful that you spent the time with us. And I think, you know, man, what an encouragement your life has been up to this senior year, this championship, that your growth in Christ and your leadership skills. Definitely, we want others around the state. I hope whoever's listening to this can take take your example and use it for motivation to grow in their faith. And so we're sure appreciative of the time that you spent with us. So, any final thoughts that we haven't covered that you can think of? Putting you on the spot there, but
I would just say, if there's anybody listening that is on the fence about joining a huddle or something like that, maybe it's just like in your team or joining your FCA, I would just say, do it. It's going to be the best decision that you could possibly make. And all it takes is one person, one leap of faith to really get going and maybe influence a lot of people's lives. So that's what I would say. Make that leap of faith. I had to do it. I know a lot of others that have had to do it, and it's really beneficial. So I would say take that leap of faith if you're on the fence about joining FCA or making a huddle or something like that.
awesome.
All right. Well, thank you again for your time. It
Yeah,
was
awesome to
talking
meet you, Colin, and good luck with the rest of your senior year,
Awesome.
senior season. So take
Yeah.
care.
Thank you guys so much. Thank
You
you.
bet. Thank you. There you go. All right, man.
Well,
That was some great conversation.
mm-hmm.
What did you take away from what Colin said? Anything that kind of stuck with you?
Um, I thought it was awesome. I loved what he said about being kind of nervous to be a leader his junior year. Making sure he's repping God the right way before he puts himself in a leadership role. And I think that's awesome. That's super important for anybody that thinks they want to become a leader in, say, a huddle or a church. You have to make sure you're representing God the right way. And I like what he said about we all make mistakes, but still you got to hold yourself to a higher standard and be able to call yourself out or be able to call out other people when they make mistakes. Not in a judgmental or an angry way, but in I love you and I want you to come along with me.
Yeah.
I want to grow together.
And that's, I think that's a good thought, really, is like once you step into leadership, that is a challenge, because it shouldn't be a decision you take lightly, because all eyes are on you, right? You're not only a Christian, and your actions and your words are a reflection of that. You're also a leader, and so your responsibility is that much greater. And so that Colin was able to see that and understand that before.
And how serious he took his decision.
Yeah.
Because he's right. I can compare it to, it's almost like stepping under a microscope, right? Once you open yourself up to be a leader, you've opened yourself up to be picked apart and judged. And no matter what you do, I mean, even if you do make a mistake, people are going to rip that apart and they're going to dive in there and they're going to be like, oh, if he's a leader, why is he acting like this? If she's a leader, why is she saying this? So it's also just being able to yes, you're going to make mistakes, but also being able to hold yourself to those higher standards so you can try to avoid those mistakes, because you are going to be judged harsher.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes.
And that, I mean, and that's the truth in life in general, right? Confess your sins and you will be forgiven, it says in James. We do make mistakes. We also have to forgive others when they make mistakes. Hold ourselves accountable, but show grace to others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably a way that we can help people to see the love of Christ, right? That's a challenge, right? Forgiveness can be a hard thing, but it kind of releases you from that bitterness or that anger inside of you. So that's a hard thing, as well as confessing your sins. That's not easy to do. But you really show what or who is the higher purpose in your life. To be like Christ. I mean, that's the perfect model. We'll never get there, but we can see how he lived his life, and that should be our goal, right? I mean, is to live like him.
As we can.
Yeah.
We'll never get there, but we can live as close to it as we can.
Yeah. Pursue that. And that's I think the cool thing about this podcast is hopefully we can see some of the struggles, some of the challenges these young athletes have battled, and like taken encouragement from that. Like, how can I apply that to my life? Colin dealt with this, Bennett dealt with this. What am I going to do?
Because there's always going to be struggles. I mean, every time you try to grow in your faith, and every time you want to get better, there's always going to be that person judging you. There's always going to be the devil trying to lead you away. I was listening to a sermon today that Anthony Michael from 2819 Church.
Yep.
And he said something about you'll never be able to live life the way you're supposed to through God without someone mocking, judging, or persecuting you for it every step along the way.
Yeah. That's the Bible tells us over and over there will be persecution, and and who knows? I mean, that's why I like coming on a podcast like this and proclaiming your faith boldly to whoever's listening. That takes a lot of courage, and that's what this world needs, is courageous Christians who are willing to live out their faith and not be afraid of what might happen, really. So, but we again are certainly grateful for this podcast and for our listeners. Again, you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube.
Go follow the Instagram too. We'll be posting updates there as well.
307 Faithful.
All across the board.
We had a little internet difficulty with Bennett last week, so the YouTube portion isn't that great, but the audio turned out really good on the other resources. So
it's great.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked out that episode, or I encourage you to do that.
Yep.
Because there's lessons you can learn from everything, and I think the lesson that you can pick up from this and the lesson you can pick up from the last episode are two different things.
Yep. Each person has their own story, right?
Exactly.
We can do thousands of these and never have the same conversation.
Yeah. Because like you said, everybody's different. Everybody's lived through different things.
Yep. And God, and that's, God, I think that's the cool thing, right? God knows our weaknesses. He knows our gifts. He wants us to be sanctified and grow in his grace. And so he's going to work in our lives to help us to grow and to become more holy. That's just impossible. And it blows my mind that he wants me to become like Jesus more and more every day, right? It says that he should increase. That means I'm going to have to decrease. And so it's submitting our lives to his authority, but that's because we know his plan is far greater than whatever we could imagine. So that's pretty cool to think about that. So we probably won't have another one of these out before Christmas. We do have another special guest in our next episode. We're actually going to host a coach. And so we'll have our first coach on, and I know you'll really enjoy his testimony and how God has worked in his life. So again, we won't give you any information. We'll make you wait because that's the best, right?
It is the best. Got to build that tension, that suspension, all of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We got to give you a reason to come back.
Exactly. If we told you everything that was going to happen before it happened, there'd be no reason to come back. Yeah. So,
or you might be called a prophet.
Yeah. So just be on the lookout.
That's right. That's right. So again, were you going to say something? Okay. Thanks to Colin Crecelius for joining us tonight. What a great story. Thanks for Paxton, and we have a lot of fun doing this, and we're getting better at it, and we've got more plans for down the road, but hopefully you've enjoyed these couple of episodes. And I guess for all of us, meaning us two, Merry Christmas, right?
Yep, and happy holidays.
Best time of the year to celebrate the birth of our Savior, the Messiah, the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas.